One of America's favorite actors died over the weekend. Matthew Perry, who played Chandler Bing in the show Friends, passed away. He was just 54. Perry was found dead, underwater in his hot tub in his L.A. home Saturday afternoon. We still don't know the cause of death. Authorities have done an autopsy, but haven't released anything. But they ruled out foul play. We're still waiting for the toxicology. Police found some prescription pills at his house, and the cause of death is listed as deferred. I grew up watching Friends almost every Thursday night on NBC. And the Chandler character was the funniest.
You know, I don't dance at weddings.
Why not?
Because weddings are a great place to meet women. And when I dance, I look like this.
Got me a VCR, he could have got me a set of golf clubs, but no, he has to get me the woman repeller. The eyesore from the Liberace House of Crap.
Not that bad.
Oh, yeah, easy for you to say. You don't have to walk around sporting some reject from the Mr. T collection.
Chandler.
I pity the fool who puts on my jewelry. I do. I pity the fool that... All right.
So why is Matthew Perry's death making such an impact? Well, because Friends was a cultural phenomenon. It did 10 seasons from the mid-90s to the 2000s, and the show averaged 25 million viewers per episode. Today's top sitcoms don't even crack 10 million an episode. Ross's wedding episode, 32 million. Rachel Has a Baby, 35 million. The final Friends episode, 53 million Americans watched. It was the last golden age of TV. Family and friends, brothers and sisters, boyfriends and girlfriends gathered around the TV on Thursday and watched Friends together. The entire country shared the experience. We talked about it afterwards. We used their jokes. And Chandler was the comedian of the franchise. His humor, his timing, the way he teased his friends imprinted itself on our culture. The Friends phenomenon doesn't exist in American culture anymore. The only thing anybody watches together is football. The rest of entertainment is fractured into thousands of different shows on hundreds of different platforms available on demand on multiple devices. There is no shared cultural media experience anymore. 62 million people used to watch The Cosby Show each week together. 93 million Americans watched the final episode of Cheers. It's almost half the country experiencing the same thing at the same time. Seinfeld was huge, Friends was huge, and today, America lacks that kind of campfire that the country sits around and enjoys together. Now, this is one of the reasons people feel isolated and disconnected within their very own country. People often feed these feelings with drugs, and Matthew Perry was one of them. He abused drugs and alcohol his entire life. Matthew Perry felt abandoned by his parents, he said. They were divorced and his father was out of the picture. He saw his dad, John Bennett Perry, more on TV than in person growing up. Perry said this made him feel deeply insecure and drove his addictions. And he said he started drinking heavily as a teen. At the beginning of the Friends franchise, he got into a jet ski accident and got hooked on Vicodin. Perry said he couldn't remember most of seasons 3 to 6.
At the time, I should have been the toast of the town. 55 Vicodin a day, which is where I was. So I did all sorts of things. I had a bunch of doctors, fake migraines. And I guess the weirdest thing I did was on Sundays, I would go to open houses and go to the bathrooms in the open house and see what pills they had in there and steal them. And I think they thought, well, there's no way that Chandler came in and stole from us.
He abused everything from Xanax to Oxy to cocaine, methadone, Vicodin. He drank liters of vodka. He said that when he was his skinniest on Friends, it was the painkillers. He said when he was the heaviest, it was because of the drinking. And Perry said when he had a goatee, that's when he was on a lot of pills. In 2018, he was in a coma for 2 weeks after an opioid overdose. Burst his colon. 3 years later, his heart stopped beating in Switzerland, and doctors broke 8 ribs resuscitating him. Perry was reportedly sober for the last 2 years and recently had been posting about Batman, posting Batman signs, Batman movie. He started calling himself Matman. Just like Batman, he'd been traumatized as a child and was now trying to help people.
The best thing about me, bar none, is if somebody comes up to me and says, I can't stop drinking, can you help me? I can say yes and follow up and do it. That's the best thing. And I've said this for a long time. When I die, I don't want friends to be the first thing that's mentioned. I want that to be the first thing that's mentioned. And I'm going to live the rest of my life proving that.
The actor had been to rehab 15 times, had 14 surgeries, had spent $9 million trying to get sober. But Matthew Perry, like millions of Americans, abusing drugs to fix their past and search for meaning. Over 100,000 Americans die from drug overdoses each year, and the numbers keep going up. Our society's broken. We've lost our faith. We've lost our family, and now we're losing our friends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.